All right.
It's the default. Isn't it?
All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. So, I'm here to talk about my little visualization tool here. So, the practice of photography has been around for centuries now, but with the advent of cell phones and smartphones, we have the ability to take pictures whenever we want of whatever we want. And in the millennial age, I guess, we like taking selfies. I know we've all probably taken a selfie or two. Maybe not posting much, but we like them. And so this group of researchers here, or this team, they wanted to ask a couple of questions about the different types of things that selfies represent, such as mood, who poses, and just to get the various demographics from them. And so they came up with Selfie City. And as the name implies, they inquired, or they gathered photos from various cities in the world, such as Bangkok, Berlin, New York, Sao Paulo, and Moscow. So some of the things they wanted to identify were the demographics, create a visualization, an interactive tool as well, and they also have a couple of essays that they added to kind of talk about the theory of selfies and the various, I guess, why people do what they do with these pictures. So here, one of the things that they show here is gender by city, and as you see here on this axis, with the increase, it shows the number of women on one side and males on the other, and they do this by age as well. So this is age, this is mood. Women seem to post a lot more, I guess, happier. Pretend to be. Yeah, and you can click on them and blow these up. I'm going to show that in the actual interactive part. And the mood. It's interesting because the algorithm, or at least the algorithm that they ran to show mood, it just kind of showed, like, I guess if you weren't smiling, then I guess you were in a quote unquote bad mood. But this is what the exploratory tool looks like, and we're just going to launch it here. So it's kind of like an interactive query. You can click on various things. So like New York, you want to look at where these people are looking. So if they're like looking down, then it's going to show people that eyes are looking down. There's Jerry Seinfeld. I don't think he's really looking down. I think he's really looking more at you. I don't know how they classify that. You can always reset the filters, open eyes, closed eyes. I like looking at closed eyes pictures because it's always funny. This guy's not really closed eyes, but hey. What else? Glasses, no glasses. Some of these that were captured here were actually shades. Thought that was cool. So some of the questions that they wanted to address, this group wanted to address, was who takes. So do people mostly post pictures of themselves? And what they found was that only 4% of the pictures that they gathered were actually selfies. Most of them were just pictures of people posting the cats, dogs, and houses and stuff like that, regular life stuff. They found that significantly more women post selfies in all the countries, in all of the cities that they were studying. The general trend is that more people that are younger and maybe to their mid to late 20s are posting pictures as well, and that Bangkok apparently was the happiest city based on those photos that they post. Some other things like head tilt, they considered this to be like striking a pose, and they found that women strike more extreme poses, so we can explore that. Like head tilt, I don't know, left tilt. Here's an interesting picture, interesting selfie. loving. So this is like kind of like a left and a right head tilt. I don't know. Let's go back to some of the other things that they post. And these are some theory and reflection essays that they wrote. So image data, communities, and biometrics, feminist media theory looks. This actually was a very long, it was like a actual journal article. It was like 16 pages. I didn't read it all, but it was interesting. Some of the things that they spotted here. And so, again, this group gathered about 650,000 images off Instagram, and they farmed out the task of identifying selfies to this group, this Amazon group, if I can find it, called Mechanic Turk Workers. I never heard of this. So basically, it's like you can just set up a virtual, these are like virtual assistants that can do this work for you. And so they had about 2 to 4 workers per photo to say, hey, this is a selfie. And eventually they filtered that all the way down to about 20,000 photos per city. I think, and they ended up having, a total of 120,000 photos. And here is the actual, let me see here. Oh, sorry. Blow that up a little bit for you. Here's the actual facial recognition software that they use. And so mood, eye position, head tilt, rotation, gender, and age. They were all gathered here. So I thought this was an interesting tool. I like looking at people. I like how people watch some places where I go. It's kind of weird, but I mean, people do it. And you just kind of get an idea of what's going on in different places and the types of, things that people take pictures of and the faces that they make and what they find interesting through their photography. And you choose to post it. So I think when you post things like that, it's kind of like what you're into. And it gives you like a little peek into the psyche of these different places without actually having to be there. How does this relate to my research? It doesn't really relate to my research, but I just thought it was interesting. So that is Selfie City. It's just a tool. You can't upload anything to it, but I mean, I think some of the methods and the processes are very interesting if you wanted to kind of pursue something similar. And that is all I have. I don't know, is that probably?
Do you want to pause the recording?
Sure.
The left icon.
Oh, this one.
Just left that.